島を切り去り追いかければ追いかかるほど感じた隠しまさかのファムファタル惑わされた罠には食い立てれば繰り伏せた手のひらにきらめいた銀のクロスは自虐の極みさもっと欲しいんだろう。
Hi everybody, and welcome to a new review, Diabolik Lovers. Now, I understand that a lot of people have issues with this anime, and I will get into these issues. But personally, I can appreciate this anime for one particular reason. It has real, honest-to-God vampires. No longer are vampires sitting there becoming sparkly creatures who run around eating deer. No longer are vampires people who can't seem to figure out whether or not they're a vampire hunter or an actual vampire. No, our vampires in this particular anime kill people. They drink blood, and they are not afraid to push little Yui Komori around. With that, let's get into the plot. Yui Komori is a young girl who is the daughter of a priest, and instead of taking her with him all the way to Eastern Europe, he takes her all the way to Japan to live with a few friends, the Sakamaki brothers. Alas, they're all vampires, and so she has to interact with them as well as go to school with them and have plenty of near-death experiences to fill a whole entire memoir. That is basically our plot for this anime. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, I played the game! The game was amazing! What happened? Well, it became an anime. And otome games are very hard to translate into animes. They have to have open endings because we're not supposed to know who the girl gets ended up with. Gets ended up with sounds wrong, but I'm going to say it that way anyway. Yui Komori is our main heroine, and I know because she is from an otome game, a lot of you are worried about her personality.
Shinは?
ああ、あいつは帰った。たく、思いがけず邪魔が入ったな。うまくいくと思ったのに。さっきの聞いちゃったよな。そんな目で見られると。
Yui's personality is very stubborn to a sweet degree. Now, when I say this, I mean Yui is very firm about her belief in the Christian Catholic Church. No matter how many times these insane people tell her that God isn't real, that the church is the one to destroy everything, and blah, 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 blah. She's like, I don't care. I have faith in God. The church is corrupt, but I have faith in God. And I can appreciate someone who sticks to religious views, no matter what the circumstances. So in my opinion, Yui, even though she doesn't have a lot of fight to her, as you could say, as you would want in heroines in anime nowadays, I could say that she does the job well considering the role she's in and considering that it's very hard to break away from 6 vampires. Now, let's move on to the vampires themselves. Let's start out with the eldest, Shu. Shu is your typical lazy guy. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to see you. He doesn't care. He's going to suck your blood and call it a day. You should be happy that he even bothers to suck your blood at this point because he just doesn't care. And in my opinion, I find him a very weak character considering all the other colorful personalities around him. Next, we have Reggie Sakamaki. Now, I like Reggie. A lot of people hate him for obvious reasons, but I personally liked him. I found his character fun and interesting no matter what he was actually doing. He's supposed to be the stereotypical, very strict person, but the way they go about it was very interesting in my opinion, and so I like this particular character. Sorry, guys. Next we have a conundrum, because in the anime they're saying that Ayato is the oldest, yet in the game it makes it very clear that Laito is the eldest. So I'm going to go by game standards and tell you next that is Laito. Laito is your pervert, and not in the sweet perverted way, oh I'm just going to go through your panty drawer. This guy, there is a lot of scenes where it's like heavily implied that Yui is raped, even though we know she isn't. That is just the tone that this guy gives. He is a creepy guy in your backyard that you always want to keep your shotgun around so you can blow his head off. And I like Lighto. He is very interesting to me. He's very fun. When he is not trying to brutally destroy Yui, he is very fun. So I can appreciate him. Even though his English sucks, he should not be allowed to speak English.
よろしくね、ビッチちゃん。まあまあ、ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃんか。ビッチちゃんは、ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃんは、ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃんの。ビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん。そんなビッチちゃん。ビッチちゃん最高だよ。
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, voice actor. Your portrayal of the character was wonderful, but please stop making him speak English. Okay, next is Kanato. Now, Kanato is your token Shota. I also like Kanato. I really do like Kanato. He's so sweet and adorable, and then he can be creepy all at the same time. I love the Shotas that aren't just a bunch of sugar and bubblegum and gumdrops. I like it when the people take the extra 9.5 yards to sit there and make their Shotas insane or creepy or gun trigger happy or anything. And Kanato, considering I was just watching Free not too long ago, is a wonderful example of a Shota done right. Considering a Shota is supposed to use their looks to sit there and get under the heroine's skin to allow them to do things they're not normally supposed to do. Hence, Kanato does that, and he does it amazingly. Finally, we have, well, not finally, but out of the triplets, finally, we have Ayato. Now, Ayato is your typical guy who wants to be number one. In fact, he goes so far as to call himself Ore-sama, which is basically something to mean your lord. No, not really your lord. I can't really explain it. My Japanese, as I've already said, isn't that amazing. But it is supposed to mean that I am number one, basically. I am number one. You will have all respect due to me and things like that. In the English dub, which actually I own, it's yours truly. But, like I said, Ore-sama, yours truly, he wants to be number one. He is number one. He, in fact, tells Yui, I will be your first at everything. And yes, he tries to do that. It is amazing, all the things that Ayato does. And I personally love this character. He is a very refreshing from our Black Stars and Narutos who want to be number one. He is the dark version of what a number one person would be. Basically, if you have watched any or read any high fantasy or fantasy lately and saw all the people who want to use their cunning and everything to be number one, this is that character. He's going to stab, kill, murder, destroy to be number one at absolutely everything. And I love that about him. Now, the final brother is Subaru. And Subaru, unfortunately, is not shown a lot in this particular season. And I heard they're making a season 2, but still, he's not shown a lot in this season. A lot of the times, he is simply shown as being all mopey. And he is supposed to be the token tsundere, which every anime has a tsundere, but Subaru is our tsundere. And considering I am a tsundere to a certain degree with yandere traits myself, I liked Subaru in the game. He was very fun, but I didn't get enough to see how his anime adaptation would be. So I can't really tell you a lot about this character. I am so sorry about that. They just don't show him a lot, which is a waste of a good character, because he's, well, play the game or watch the anime, you'll see how he is. Now, I told you about the plot, I told you about the characters. What can I tell you about the art style? Well, as you can see from my trusty bit of plastic, the art style is very pretty. And also from what you could tell, I can't tell if you can see it here, but also what you could tell from my introduction, the art style for this particular anime is absolutely gorgeous. The people who made this anime did a very good job. They put work, they put effort, they tried to bring what the Otome had and put it straight back into the anime. And guys, I love this particular art style. It is soft, it is beautiful, and it is honestly a shame that this series is only about 17 minutes long, because this is very beautiful. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely gorgeous art. And also, another thing that was gorgeous was the music. I found the intro, even though it wasn't Midnight Pleasure from the game, which everybody loves. Sadistic Night is Mr. Sadistic Night, I'm sorry. It is a very good intro song, in my opinion. The outro song has no lyrics or anything, but it has that cello, and you can hear that cello, and it's like, I like you, cello. You just made me like cellos, Diabolik lovers, because I loved the outro for this as well. The music in between parts is also very good. You have a lot of your pianos, you have various instruments, nothing really all that poppy, which, considering how anime is, you normally have a poppy song here and there. You don't have any of that, and I am appreciative because it just helps set that particular tone of, you have no technology, you have no nothing, you are stuck with a bunch of vampires, and they just did that so well, creating that type of tone and ambiance. Now, what can I say about the voice actors? Well, first, let's start with the Japanese. Guys, once again, you did a wonderful job creating voices for these characters. I could, honest to God, believe that these vampires had these particular voices. They just did such an amazing job with the voices. I particularly love Kanato's voice. He has my favorite voice, and not because, fun fact, he voices Aaron Yeager as well, but honestly, because he just has such a sweet and cute little voice that can go suddenly real deep, and it's like, oh my gosh, why did you do that? Do not change your tone like that, please. You're scaring me. Absolutely loved his voice. And actually, I do like Ayato's voice. I'm sorry. Ayato's voice is awesome. Not the same reason as Kanato's, but I find his voice just awesome. Now, English dub. A lot of the times, people complain that English dub is always worse than English sub. But I have to say that the English sub and dub are basically at the same level. I can complain that Kanato's voice isn't nearly childlike enough, and then suddenly becomes straight up man. But aside from that little issue, I really enjoyed the voices. Even in the English dub, Laito's voice still annoys me to tears. And I can appreciate that when you sit there and you go straight onto another language and you still work to get someone to annoy you. I loved that about the English dub. They did their absolute best when trying to voice these characters and cast them to be perfect. Now, finally, now that we have sub versus dub versus everything, what do I rate this particular anime? Fangirl fetish. In all honesty, it doesn't have much for plot. It doesn't have much for anything, really. It just has lovely art, beautiful music, and very interesting characters for an analytical study. And in all honesty, I just can't sit there and get behind getting this anime. In fact, I probably wouldn't have gotten it if it wasn't 20 bucks at Target, which actually I paid online plus $5 shipping, so it's about $25. Like I said, unless you are a huge super fan, don't bother buying this anime. Instead, go to Crunchyroll or Hulu and watch it for free and legally there. So guys, that is my redone up review for Diabolik Lovers. Now, if you like this review, please click the like button below. That way I know that you guys liked it, obviously. And if you have any more suggestions for me to do for another anime, then let me know in the comment section below. Should I do Rosario plus Vampire? Should I do Akame ga Kill? Or should I sit down, take it like a woman, and review free? Even though I've already watched it, so I should probably review it. And on top of all that, so you know that I actually went through with my promise, please click the subscribe button below. That way, it goes straight to your inbox. See you guys!